From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Mike Alpern, sitting in for Teisha Bader, here with the JBS News Update for Monday, May 8th, 2017. When it comes to ISIS, the Sinai Peninsula is the place to watch. ISIS has expanded in Egypt's Sinai Peninsula. They are now training, operating against locals, as well as launching attacks against other Egyptian targets. ISIS has shot missiles from the Sinai into Israel and even launched cross-border attacks into Israel. ISIS fighters attacked a family in Yamit, a village in Sinai. They murdered the mother on the spot and kidnapped her husband and two sons. On Saturday, the heads of the father and the two sons were left on a street in Rafah in Sinai. Their bodies were also found and taken to hospital to be identified. Multiple Islamic State suicide bombers attacked a base in northern Iraq, where U.S. military advisors are stationed, security sources said on Sunday. Two militants detonated their vests at the entrance to the K-1 base overnight, and the remaining three ISIS terrorists were killed by Kurdish Peshmerga, who control the Kirkuk area where the base is located. An officer told Reuters, quote, "The attackers were wearing uniforms like the Kurdish Peshmerga and had shaved their beards to look like us." He added that two Peshmerga had been killed in the attack. A further 6 were wounded. U.S. Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Joseph Dunford, is in Israel for a 2-day visit hosted by his Israeli counterpart, IDF Chief of Staff Gadi Eisenkot. Dunford will also meet with Defense Minister Avigdor Lieberman. The three will discuss a plethora of topics, including Russia, Syria's chemical weapons, and the transfer of advanced weapons to Hezbollah. This is the 4th meeting between the two chiefs of staff. The visit marks Dunford's first visit to Israel since the Trump administration entered the White House. Particular emphasis will be on chemical weapons that remain in the arsenal of Syrian President Bashar Assad's army. Last August, Eisenkot met with Dunford in the United States, where he bestowed upon the IDF head the Legion of Merit Medal during the Honor Guard ceremony at the Pentagon in Washington. In addition, the three will likely discuss other matters, including developments in the Sinai and Iran, and Syria's attempt to transfer advanced weapons to Hezbollah. A female terrorist was shot dead by Israeli security forces on Sunday evening after she attempted to stab Israeli policemen at the Damascus Gate in the Old City of Jerusalem. Terrorist was identified by the Palestinian Health Ministry as 16-year-old Fatima Hedji from a town near Ramallah. Though she was treated at the scene by Israel's Zaka paramedics, she died from her injuries. No other people were injured in the incident. According to the police, while charging at the security personnel, she was shouting, "Allahu Akbar." The police spokeswoman, Luba Samari, said a knife was recovered from the scene together with a farewell letter from a teenager to her family, quoting a verse from the Quran that signed off with the word Shahida, Arabic for female martyr. Marwan Barghouti, the Palestinian security prisoner leading a mass hunger strike among fellow inmates, was recorded on security cameras in his cell eating, among other things, cookies and salted snacks. According to the Minister of Public Security, Strategic Affairs, and Minister of Information, Gilad Erdan. Presenting the footage during a press conference, Erdan said that prisoners' conditions over which they allegedly launched their hunger strike were not the real reasons behind the strike, now in its 21st day. Quote, "The Palestinian prisoners' hunger strike has nothing to do with their prison conditions and everything to do with the political interest of Marwan Barghouti," said Erdan during a press conference on Sunday. And he continued, quote, "Barghouti is a murderer and a hypocrite who urged his fellow prisoners to strike and suffer while he ate behind their back." The minister then said, just like he lied to the world when he wrote in the New York Times that he decided to strike in order to protest ill treatment, he lied to the Palestinian public when he claimed to be striking. Israel will not give in to extortion and pressure from terrorists, he added. This is not the first time Barghouti secretly broke a hunger strike. In 2004, he called a hunger strike, and he was filmed eating then too. In response, Barghouti's wife, Fatwa, called a press conference to say the tape is fake. Israel's wheelchair tennis team won a silver medal at the BNP Paribas World Team Cup on Sunday after losing 2-1 to Britain in the finals, held in Allegro, Italy. In the doubles match, Noam Gershoni and Shraga Weinberg lost to Britain's Andrew Lapthorne and Anthony Cottrelli, 6-3, 6-0. Winning the silver medal is another link in the chain of success of Israel's Paralympic tennis team. Gershoni, 34, was an Apache helicopter pilot during the Second Lebanon War and was seriously injured in a helicopter crash. After extensive medical rehabilitation, he joined Beit HaLochem in Tel Aviv and began playing wheelchair tennis. Shraga Weinberg, 51, was born with a rare genetic disease that caused bone density abnormalities and is considered one of the leading Paralympic athletes in Israel. Together with Boaz Kremer, he won the silver medal in the doubles tournament in Beijing, 2008, and the bronze together with Gershoni in London. At the opening ceremony of the Paralympics Games in Rio de Janeiro in 2016, Weinberg carried the Israeli flag. In a list published last week by the British daily newspaper The Guardian, 10 cities are listed as the most recommended cities for vegan travelers. Among them is Tel Aviv. The other cities on the list are Turin, Italy, Berlin, Germany, Helsinki, Finland, Chennai, India, Melbourne, Australia, London, Britain, Vancouver, Canada, and 2 cities in the US, San Francisco, California, and Austin, Texas. This isn't much of a surprise. Nearly 5% of Israelis are vegan, meaning that Israel has the most vegans in the world per capita. Tel Aviv itself has about 200 vegan restaurants, and 10% of the restaurants in the city are vegan-friendly, so that at least a quarter of their menu is vegan. The Guardian concluded by writing, "Veganism has been on the rise for some time in Israel, but things came to a head in December 2014 when protesting Israeli soldiers threatened to revolt if the army didn't start giving vegan options on the cafeteria menu." And now for a look at tonight's programming on JBS. At 7 o'clock, it's The Wisdom of Dr. Ruth Westheimer. At 7:30, Musab Hassan Youssef, the Green Prince, speaks from last year's Jerusalem Post conference. At 8 p.m., Director of Middle East Forum, Greg Roman, discusses the evolution of America's conflict with the Middle East and how the nations within it are shaping different paths for the future. A program of the Middle East Forum from Stamford, Connecticut. At 9, Mark Golub sits down with Daniel Pipes on L'chaim. At 10, Thame Rosenbaum speaks with Bernard-Henri Lévy at the 92nd Street Y. And coming up right after this broadcast at 6:30, Mark Golub speaks with Aaron David Miller on tonight's In the News. I'm Micah Halpern, and this is today's news update from JBS.